Hey man, I remember earlier this summer you were talking about being hard on Marshon and
Yeah,
really trying to pull that greatness out of him. Is he the type of player that responds well to that type of coaching?
absolutely, absolutely. Marshon's the type that being easy on him, letting him get away with little things. Um, he doesn't respond well to that. He's the type that he wants the criticism. Um, he wants you to tell him about the little things that he's doing wrong because he wants to take his game to the next level. So I've always done that to him ever since his rookie year. Him and Marcus both, and man, they react to it really, really well. And I mean, I expect some great things out of him this coming year, just like I've always done. I've always do every year with him.
Next question's from Amos Morale. Amos?
Uh, yeah, Coach. Regarding Janoris Jenkins, it's a guy that obviously you got mid-season last year.
Yeah.
Working with him now in training camp, what are your impressions, and are you able to kind of get a better feel for him now that you have this extra practice time?
I'll tell you what, the one thing that I do know, and I'm going to take both of those guys, is, man, we have the ability to play a lot of press man coverage with both of them. Man, they do a really good job of working off each other really well. Their communication with each other has been outstanding. And I think that's a huge thing for corners. I think a lot of people don't take that for granted. The ability for corners to be able to speak an unspoken language, of being able to look at each other and know what each other think. And they're starting to develop that as we go through practice, especially on a lot of these stack routes, a lot of these switch routes. They can just take a look at each other and they know exactly how to respond to those things. And that takes reps. And with him being with us since the beginning, I think it's been outstanding. And man, he is an outstanding player. You see the bounce in the step. I think he's very, very happy to be here. And I think that has a lot to do with the way he's operating right now.
Next question's from Nick Underhill. Nick?
Marcus mentioned to us about his tackling. What do you think is the hurdle? Is that a physical thing or is it a want to? Like, what do you feel like?
I would say this. When you look at safeties, today's safeties, you start to see a lot of these guys that's around the 195, barely getting to the 200-pound range. And I think a lot of times that's what they think they have to be at. All right. So I think Marcus came in at about 199 last year. And before that, his rookie year, he was 207. So I gave him some stats on his progression as a tackler from his rookie year going to this past season. And he totally saw the difference because you look at his rookie year, man, he was a really, really good tackler. And his build was a lot better. And he came in this year at 210. Even with all the run that we're doing, he's maxing out around 208. Man, he looks powerful. He's moving powerful. And I think he has the body, that extra weight that's on him that's going to help him be able to wrap and make those tackles. He's a long arm player. All right. So with those long arms, he needs strength with that. And I think that added weight and the added strength that he had this offseason is going to give him back to being a good tackler he was his rookie year. And I'm excited to see what this player do this year.
Does the added weight affect his range at all in coverage?
Absolutely not, because it's not the type of weight that you add where you're just getting fat and eating Krispy Kreme donuts every day. It's the added weight of him building that muscle mass within his frame that he had before, and he just recaptured that. I mean, you see, he's a like finely tuned athlete right now. His legs are a lot bigger, his upper body's a lot bigger, and he's added the right type of weight instead of just regular weight that you put on just trying to be big.
You said he was a good tackler as a rookie. I mean, a lot of people like to define him by one moment, so that's unfair. Like, he was good up until that Minnesota game of tackling.
And man, here's the thing that a lot of people do. They don't look at the things, and that's just what sells. They don't look at all the good stuff you do. They look at the one bad thing you do, and that sells papers. So that's just how the world works. And and sometimes for a younger player, that can mess with you. It can. So with him, it's just understanding who he is and trusting his ability. Man, I've done it. I can do it. It's been put on tape. All right, but I didn't do it as well last year, and we have to confront that. And that's another thing. He knows I'm going to be honest with him with that. And we sat there and we watched the tape on it. and he agreed with everything that I showed him, and he understands it. And you just see a different player at this camp, and I'm excited to see how he's going to react when the game time comes around.
No, I'm not trying to be like do psychoanalysis on him or anything, but like after
No, I know.
coming into the second year, he seemed to be a little bit, about the tackling. It was a sensitive topic, and then for him to come out and talk to us about it, to me, it kind of struck me as like a growth, and like that was something that needed to happen. Do you feel like he's more confident now, like than he was coming off that? And was that a process?
Here's my philosophy with him this offseason. If you don't confront the things you got to get better at, you'll never get better at it. So you got to hit it head on, and that's what we did. And we sat there and we watched tape. Before the season, before we had this coronavirus deal that started spreading, we were watching it in my office, and then during the off season, we was watching it on Zoom. And he was like, "Dang, I ain't know it that bad." So, but again, he confronted it. And that's the number one thing you have to be able to do in this league as a player. You have to confront your issues and then understand how you got to correct it. And he's doing a really good job of that.
Next question's from Luke Johnson. Luke.
AG, how does Malcolm Jenkins' intelligence experience, how does that actually impact y'all and benefit y'all?
Well, the first thing is, and I would take to the meeting room, the type of questions that he asks, the way that his input on things that he's seen and the way that he's going about doing some things. But the good thing about him is he's willing to learn new things, and he's willing to apply them out on the field. And I think Malcolm understands that I can help teach him some things as far as playing that's going to continue to help him. And I think that's why, his relationship has been so good right now. And, his communication has been good. It's because of that. Now, once you put him on the field and I start talking to our safety about disguising, since he's been around so long, he totally gets it. Some younger guys, you have to get him in the film, you have to explain it to him, and that's good. We want to do that. But for him, he said, "I got you, coach." And he's able to help the guys as we're on the field. Here's what coach is trying to say. Here's what we're trying to do it. So he's almost an extension of a coach on the field. And not just in the back, not just in the secondary, but also, with the linebackers and all that, So, it's awesome to have that player. I'm enjoying coaching him. I'm enjoying being around him. I know the players in the locker room enjoying being around him. And I know our room as a DB group enjoys he's in there. So, like I said, I'm expecting big things out of him too.
Next question's from Amos Morale. Amos?
Yeah, with PJ, obviously we all heard about the big interception he had on the first day with pads. But are you seeing more confidence out of him, particularly, at safety and corner, just because of kind of the success he was able to have last year playing all over?
Well, PJ's my Swiss Army knife, man. So PJ has no choice but to have confidence, especially if you're going to play as many positions as he's going to play. And I talked about this in the offense. He's one of those, just like Malcolm, one of those positionless players that they have the intelligence to play a number of positions, but they also have the body type and the ability to do it. PJ can go play corner. We need him to play corner. And he has to be confident. He has to be confident in doing that. He can go play safety. We need him to play safety. He can go play nickel. We need him to play nickel. He can go play dime. We need him to play dime. And the good thing about PJ is he can go in, he can play those positions, and there's not a lot of hiccups, all right, because he understands the role, and he does a really good job of studying. So, PJ is one of my favorite players because of all that he can do, and he doesn't have an ego, man. He's willing to do whatever we ask him to do just to help us win. And, man, as a coach, you got to like players like that.
And last question's from Luke Johnson. Luke?
Luke, you spend the month today, man.
Look, I got to get everything in. I don't know when I'm going to be able to talk to you again, AG, and I got stuff to write. I got papers to sell. All right.
Man, I'm free anytime, brother. Just let me know.
All right. DA said earlier that like one of the things that for Marshon to take the next step, it's just really about consistency.
Yeah.
So is that like a product of focus for him? Like just being locked in on like literally every play?
Man, you just hit it on the head, you know, because everybody's not going to be Julio Jones. Everybody's not going to be Mike Evans. You know, they're not going to be the top-notch guys to where they force you to be locked in. And my philosophy is, man, you're going to battle those really good guys. But the guys that you got to dominate, you got to dominate them. All right? There's no bad players in this league, you know, but there are a different level of players. And the Julio Jones, you got to battle that guy. Mike Evans, you're going to have to battle that guy. Other receivers, man, I need you to dominate that guy. You know, there's going to be some time where you're not going to have any help, right? You got to dominate that guy. And that's where his focus has to be. When it's time to dominate, man, dominate. When it's time to battle, we're going to battle. Yeah, they're going to make some catches on you. They're good players too. All right. But, man, there has to be a locked-in mentality every time you line up. And right now, I always ask them the question, man, are you being intentional right now? All right. Every time you step up, are you being intentional? I want to see your body language be intentional. I mean, you're locked in, you're focused, your eyes are tight on that guy. Let's get ready to go. He's doing a really good job of that.